What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ash Gray back at it again with another segment. And I guess it's TV time, as you can see. But today, we're going to talk about self-respect. That's rule number one. Self-respect. Always have self-respect. Never lose your self-respect. Alright? Love yourself. Alright? So let's talk about what self-respect is. It's self-love, it's self-appreciation, it's self-value, you know what I'm saying? It's self-admiration. It's defending for yourself. It's adoring yourself and adoring all the accomplishments that you've achieved to get to this point, and adoring all of the hard work and the effort you've put into to acquire the skills that you have, or the talents that you have, or the abilities that you have to get to this point, that you've used to get to this point. You see what I'm saying? Because everything that you have was earned, okay? Especially if it's something that's non-material, all right? If it's something that's non-material, you had to learn, you had to put in work, and you had to put time in to go get it. So I bring this up because a lot of times people try to treat you a certain way because they think that they can treat you a certain type of way, and they are entitled to act however they want to act, but that don't mean that they can treat you any type of way. That's where they get you fucked up at. That's where they got me fucked up at. You see what I'm saying? Always respect yourself. When you respect yourself first, everything else will follow suit. Alright? Everything else will follow suit. Okay? So, let's talk about people having you fucked up. Alright? So, a lot of times we have to interact with people just because on a day-to-day basis you just have to have certain interactions. You got to go to work, you got to go to the store, you got to get gas, you got to handle your business. Alright? So in the midst of doing all these things, sometimes people get you fucked up, right? So, you know, people might try to treat you a certain way, or they might basically, yeah, they try to treat you a way that you don't want to be treated. Alright? And as someone who has respect for themselves, there's nothing wrong with you standing up for yourself. Alright? So, with that being said, if someone tries to treat you or perform an act on you that you don't appreciate, you have to stop it right then and there. Alright? You have to stop it right then and there, okay? Because you got to let them know that that's not how you operate. And I'm not saying you have to, whatever your personality is, whatever your character is, however you deal with things, you have to stay within your own personality. Alright? You can't handle the situation by doing it like I would, and I can't do it like you would, because again, we different people. Alright? So, but even though we different people, don't mean that you can't stand up for yourself. You understand? You always got to stand up for yourself. So you just got to let people know that you won't tolerate it. Alright? Let me go into a little personal reflection. So recently I was performing work for someone, right? And we talked about work and labor, and working capital and labor and management in one of my old videos, so check it out. And we talked about management and performing work and mistakes and all of that. But let me just shorten it up for the sake of the video. So I'm performing work for someone, for a client, and then the client, there was an error made, there was a mistake made because of a lack of communication, or what do I want to say? I want to use a better word. Not just a lack of communication, but a lack of precise communication. All right. So whatever. I learned. I took a loss because I made a mistake, but I learned. So long story short, moral of the story: whenever you performing a task for someone or a function, you want to try to be as well defined as possible. You want it to be the task. You want it to be as well defined as possible, right? So either or, it's neither here nor there. Nobody got hurt. It was nothing. It was nothing serious. It was an easy fix, right? Easy problem. But the problem comes, all right, when an error was made, and I acknowledge that I made a mistake, all right, and then, this person, they thought they could talk to me like they talked to the next man or the next woman, and or however they felt they could, and I had to let them know, look, I'm not anybody. I'm Ash. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta cut that shit out with me. Alright? You see what I'm saying? We had a miscommunication because we had a miscommunication. I performed some work. You told me the task. Maybe it wasn't defined as well as it should have been. Maybe I should have asked for more clarity. Either way, it takes two people to communicate. Alright? So, with that being said, I had to let him know that I'm not down for that shit. So, you want me to fix my mistake? It's cool. But the way you handling it right now, I'm not about to fix shit. So you know what? You fix it yourself. And that's what it was. And that's what it is. And sometimes you just gotta let people know, man. And I know a lot of people are in situations where they have jobs and they need money and stuff like that. But like I talked about in my what was that video? Hold on. I gotta go through the notes. Like I talked about it in Doing What You Enjoy for Work video. Alright? And I talked about it in some of my other videos. Just run through the videos. You'll see it. All money ain't good money. Alright? Customers, right? You don't have to deal with bad customers. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do work for bad customers if you don't want to. Simple as that. If somebody's annoying you and they're giving you a hard time, decline them. You know what I'm saying? Those couple dollars is not going to hurt you. Alright? If you work for someone, right? And they're giving you a hard time, and you working your tail off trying to get the job done, or you are getting the job done, and you still feel underappreciated or mistreated, you don't have to work for them. If they hired you, there's also a market for that work. That means somebody else would probably be willing to hire you if you go out and find it, if you go out and look for it. See what I'm saying? And again, you don't even have to deal with someone if you don't want to. If you don't appreciate this, take your power back. You have sovereignty, alright? So that's where I talk about self-respect and what it means. Have respect for yourself. That you're not out here just fucking swallowing. Something's making you mad and you just eating it just because you got to get a check. What type of shit is that? Now, everybody's not built like me. Right? Which is cool. You don't have to be built like me. You can handle things your own way. Right? Because you're your own individual. But this is the Boss Up channel. Alright? And let's talk about privilege, alright? Anytime someone interacts with you, that's a privilege. Because you don't have to give people the time of day. Understand me. You don't have to give people the time of day. Okay? We talked about time before. Time is precious, right? You don't give time to everybody. Sometimes you got... Think about your email, right? You got marketers coming in your email. You got marketers coming in to your door. You got people on the street trying to get your attention. Do you give everybody your attention? Hell no, right? Because your time is precious. Alright? So understand that every time you interact with somebody, you're giving that person the privilege, alright, of interacting with you. Because you don't have to give them the time of day. Alright? So, respect yourself first, and everything else will fall into play, alright? Respect yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here dealing with people you don't like, doing things you don't like to make money. It's backwards. Work is already hard enough as is. You have to use effort. You have to use some effort to do work in the first place. So that means you have to strain yourself. So then you want to add more mental strain and maybe more physical strain? Nah, that's backwards, bro. That's backwards. So since this video is going to be my part of my How to Come Up playlist for the book that's coming out, and it's dealing with independence and hustling for yourself or your family and bossing up and all that good stuff. If you watching this channel, man, and you soaking in everything that I'm communicating about, everything that I'm talking to you about, you gotta be the boss of your own life. Even if you're not the boss when it comes to your own workspace, you're the boss when it comes to the thing that you produce. Alright? So let's talk about a boss. A boss is one who looks from within themselves to find a solution to a problem. As simple as that. Right? Anytime you're at work and there's a problem and you don't know how to fix it, or you have to get clearance to fix it, somebody has to fix that problem. Right? At the end of the day, the person who has the clearance, or the person who puts in the work to solve that problem, is a boss, bro. And they always demand respect. You don't see any employee talking crazy to a boss. Because what did the boss say? Yo, get out of here. Even if the boss is wrong. And I've witnessed that too. I've seen bosses be wrong, but because they got that power, they say get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have that. Now let's apply that. Let's translate that in our lives, right? You the boss of your life. You see what I'm saying? Even if you wrong and you don't like how the situation unfolded, you still got the sovereignty and the power to just remove yourself from that situation. Because we talk about privilege again. And it's a privilege for anyone to have the opportunity to even deal with you for even a split second. You understand? So if you're the boss of your life, that means you run the ship. What you say goes. You understand? So if you don't like what somebody is bringing to your table, and in many different aspects of your life, let them go, bro. If they're causing you mental or physical strain. Alright? Stop holding on to stuff you need to let go of, bro. That's a burden. Alright? So, again, in closing, realize that, again, you have sovereignty. You have power. Alright? You have the means to handle any problems, man. And if you feel like you can't, you got to stretch that muscle. You got two important muscles, man. And it's symbolic. It's symbolic. You got your mind and you got your heart, man. I'm on the wrong side of your heart. You got to use it, man. You know what I'm saying? Boss up, man. If you got a problem, solve it, man. It might take you maybe a few days. Could take you a few hours to solve it. To think of a solution, it could take you a few days to think of a solution. But either way, you can solve it. You know what I mean? We live in a world with planes, trains, and automobiles. Somebody had to think of that. And then produce it. You see what I'm saying? Producing something that never existed before. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta dig deep. You know what I'm saying? And understand that you gotta flex your willpower and tell yourself you can do it, you can get it done. And then have the determination and the heart to pursue and follow through on that shit. So stop putting up with the bullshit. Stop hiding the real you to put food on the table. Get a better hustle or find a better situation. That's what I got to say about it, man. So boss up, man. Realize there's always opportunity and there's always alternatives. Shit don't never shut off, man. Everything that was and is and everything that will be is all that there ever is. I don't know how that's gonna sound in the playback, but it ain't nothing new under the sun, yo. So, handle your business, boss up, man. You got my blessings, man. It's Ash Gray Music. Stay tuned for the new album. Stay tuned for the book. Stay tuned for the merch. And for those who just like the wordplay and without the music, I got something special for y'all coming up too, man. So thanks for rocking with me. I'm out.